What is up, everybody? It's your boy English, and I kind of want to talk to you. This is like preliminary. Me and a friend, a good friend of mine, are gonna eventually. We're working on putting together a podcast for you guys where we're gonna be talking about a lot of the things concerning the Black community here in America, Black popularity, Black everything, really. Mainly to touch on issues that are very, very shied upon, especially on social media. And I wanted to kind of touch a little bit on those things right now while I have a little bit of time. Not meaning this to be a full segment or anything like that, just mainly kind of like a preview of where my side will be coming from versus my friend Wally. We between us have a great dynamic. We have great topics to talk about, and who better to talk about Black people than Black people themselves, right? It's been a long road. It's been a long road coming as far as maturing as an adult, as a human being. Gaining information has always been a top priority of mine. My mom instilled in me when I was very young. I can remember as young as sixth grade when we in school had Black History Month and we talked about slavery and stuff like that. The way the narrative was given to us back then was very upsetting to see as a kid because you don't know what history you came from at that time. And the public schools were trying to, tell us in a roundabout way what happened. It was then, I remember very clearly, I came home one time crying my eyes out, just crying, bawling because they were talking about slavery. And I remember all the white kids in the class would turn and look at me like, oh my God, that really happened to somebody like him. And I just remember feeling so alienated and so horrible that that I had that kind of lineage. And it's so funny. I'll stick to the story. I remember my mom telling me and helping me start researching about slavery, researching facts. You know what I mean? And I remember it was then that I started to realize that the things that we were being taught in school were doctored. They're very censored, if you will. And they weren't giving you the full frontal, you know what I mean? They were giving you just enough for you to kind of know, but appease your curiosity. And that was enough for most people, especially children, kids. So when I started doing my own research, man, it opened up a whole avenue of mystery because I was just like, oh my God, like I never even knew this. And that carried on till now, even up till now. And I've always been one to question, not necessarily authority, but to question what's been given to you. And what does that mean? Like, for example, if we're celebrating Columbus Day, I wanted to really know about Columbus. There was no ulterior motive for wanting to know. It was, we're learning about Columbus in school. I'm going to take it a step further and try to learn what I can about Columbus on my own time and outside the curriculum that the school is teaching. And when I did that, I realized there was a lot more to Columbus than what they were telling us. You know what I mean? And it was very, very liberating. It was very, very satisfying to know more than my fellow students at the time and stuff like that, even my fellow peers and stuff like that now. But where we are at now in America as Black people, it's very, very sad to see that the sheeple or the ones in charge that are governing us, the sheeple, because we are sheeple, have done a very good job in keeping everybody in their lane. And what do I mean by that? Basically, our country and the world, when I speak really, but mainly our country has has found a way to ease in and talk about things when it concerns race and history. They've done a very good job in doctoring information and giving out information that they want you to know. And I always thought that was a very, very strange thing, because why are you teaching one thing when the full truth is absolutely, contradicts or makes whatever it is you're teaching us look like you're lying to us? It's almost like they were lying. And I couldn't figure it out. What's the mentality behind wanting to suppress and lie to the people? And why in America still today is it such a taboo to talk about Black history? And not even history, even the present day. It's so hard to talk about it. It's so hard for people to empathize with it. And why is that? That was my biggest concern, my biggest curiosity. And quite honestly, it makes me upset, because so much has happened in this country, not just the Black people, to anybody of color, that it really shapes who we are today. And the fact that some people don't understand that, some people have absolutely no connection with the past. They don't feel like the past influences today or tomorrow. And I feel like that's insulting, not only to people who live in this country, but it's insulting to our cultural pride as well, as an American people. If we can't talk about or be an understanding of where we came from, then we have no idea where to start the path or where to follow the path to a better future and to a better today. So when it comes to Black people and the way Black people are today, it's very, very important to know exactly the true gritty history of Black people in America, and how we came to be to where we're at today. There's a lot of people on social media that, when I usually try to share these stories or share history, right? History, they get upset. They get really, really upset. And they start flagging my posts, saying, there's discriminatory or it's insensitive, racial and insensitive and stuff like that. And I laugh at myself, because I'm like, here we are, 2018. And we are offending some of these people. Most of them, in my case, white people that I thought were, you had them on Friends, you think they're your friends or whatever. But what I realized is that there's a lot of closet racists out there. And you can tell when you've hit a nerve or struck a nerve with a closet racist. Is the post. Whenever you post or say something factual about history, anything that you're trying to share, they are the first ones to attack you. And they attack you as if what you're saying is made up bullshit. But it's funny, because it's like, no, I didn't make this up, but I am sharing it to make people aware. And it's sad that Facebook will censor you. I was talking to my mom about this today. It's sad that Facebook will even censor you for posting up anything that is historic or has historic value or of a actual historic nature, and they will censor you for insensitivity. They will censor you for perceived hate speech. But all the while, they will allow videos of brown and Black people to circulate the internet of violence, fighting, and killing. It happens every day. I see it every day. And I got to the point where I had to delete everybody off my Facebook because it's sad. When I can scroll down Facebook and I can see black Indians or Indian folks killing one another, Mexicans cutting each other's heads off, Middle Eastern people cutting each other's heads off, killing people, black people fighting, shooting, stabbing one another. When I can scroll on Facebook and see that all day with millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views and comments, and Facebook allows that kind of garbage to circulate the internet, but as soon as you post something has historic value, that was historically accurate, and you post it up, and when I post these up, I don't even really say anything. I just say, this is like your daily dose of remembering. Like a Remembrance Day every day. There's no such thing as a Black History Month. We have so much Black history, encompasses this country. They singled us out and they gave us 1 month. Nah, every day is a Black History Day. At least that's what I was trying to do. But I noticed that a lot of people were upset with that. They don't like to be closet racist in particular. They don't like to be reminded of what they've done or what they are or what their lineage is responsible for. And they don't want to be reminded about that kind of stuff, because to them, it doesn't affect them now. And they just have a warped sense of reality when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? And then also you have the black people that will, they really will. Let me make sure is this recording? This is recording, right? Yeah, okay. Hopefully it's recording. Then you got the black people that will attack you. And they will attack you by basically, playing the advocate, you shouldn't post stuff like that. It's upsetting to some people. And I'm like, why are you getting mad at me? I didn't make this happen. I'm just sharing it. I'm making you aware of it. If you're upset by being aware of it, then there's something wrong. Jewish people all day, every day can talk about the Holocaust and how it's affected them, and basically, how important it is to not forget. But as soon as you start talking about Black history and the Black Holocaust, or how my brothers in the NOI would put it, the hell of a cost, the Black hell of a cost. It's taboo. It's frowned upon. It's really sad that America is like this, and anybody can get it. My biggest thing with the black community today is what white people of yesterday had always talked about when we were slaves and when we were even getting out of slavery. And that is education, information, and history. Real history, not his story. Not America's founding fathers' story, not their version, but the real version. The reality. There's his story, and then there is the real history. That happened. They don't like you to talk about that. So when it comes to the black community, the big one for me is it comes to religion. And we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff on the podcast, and we're going to be getting two different opinions, two different views, and hopefully you guys will join in. But basically, religion is going to be a big topic. A lot of people are going to get upset. And when it comes to religion, what I always love to tell people is this. If you truly believe in something, then you shouldn't be afraid to actually research who taught it to you and where it originated from. You shouldn't be afraid of that. You shouldn't be afraid to find something that will contradict your belief or contradict what you know as an intelligent person to be right and wrong, correct? So, for example, when I talk about Christianity, I was raised as a Christian, brought up as a Christian. Parents are Christians. My real dad's a heathen. No, I'm just joking, but I was raised in that environment, and the life lessons that Christianity can teach a person can be very beneficial. They are very beneficial. But when I started looking into Christianity, first thing I wanted to learn was where it came from, how it came to us as a people, and kind of just trace back. Where did it come from? How did it get to me? And when you do that, you start to realize you start to see the reality of what it is that you're doing, that you're participating. You start to see the reality, right? And the reality is doesn't look good. And basically what I derive from that, once you find the origins and the roots of Christianity, black people, I used to get mad at black people for wanting to be Christians. But then I started, when you look into the actual origins of it, you realize blacks were the first ones to become quote unquote Christians. After the Greek took over in Egypt, right? The first European pharaoh wanted his likeness to be ordained and he wanted to basically be made into a living god. The black people of Egypt didn't like that, and they rebelled. They said, no, you took us over, but we're not going to do what you say. And he started killing them off. Basically, eventually they found some sellouts to do this in the capital of Memphis there at the time, and they ordained him and did it, everything. And he was basically, they started worshiping Serapis. At the Council of Nicaea and the Roman times, they basically ended try to wipe away the Serapis movement and replace it with Jesus Christ, and Christianity became the number one thing. I said all that to say this. If you look deep into the history of where it came from, you realize what you're actually reveling in absolutely has no footing, no foundation, no nothing. It's you're basically partaking in a huge lie. And some people will say, well, that historically that may be true, but the teachings in this book help me. They help me live. They help me stay and become and be a better person. No matter where it came from, I still find value in the teachings, in the words. And I say to that, if you can accept where it came from, how it came about, how it was introduced to you and your people, and it makes sense to you in a beneficial manner to continue using that religion or that way of life to better yourself, then I applaud you and I say, go ahead. But what I don't understand and don't like is when people have no interest in finding out what they believe in and where it came from and where it originated. They don't care about that. They don't care about any of the truth. They just care about what they care about now, what they believe in now. To me, those people are the most dangerous people. Belief is a dangerous thing. You need to know the facts before you blindly believe in somebody. That's how cults get started. That's how people are able to lead others astray, is because you don't have the fortitude to actually look into what you're choosing to participate in, right? We got to be smarter with what we do. We got to know the facts. You know what I mean? But that's just an example. Hopefully I didn't bore y'all too much with this. We're going to be trying to put this on YouTube for sure. Probably have it archived. I don't know if we're going to do shows live. We probably should. But pre-recorded, definitely. I think it'd be pretty cool to have people tune in that are interested eventually. And I think it's going to be a good thing ultimately for people who want to hear a different perspective than what they're used to hearing. So, with that being said, stay tuned, and we will be bringing out some nice heat. Also, let me know if you're interested in any other topics. We're not going to just strictly talk about the black man and woman and black community and stuff like that. We're going to talk about a lot of things, you know what I mean? How it affects everybody as Americans, everybody. But we will concentrate mainly on the black community. So, until further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next one.